Hello and welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 Looney Tunes shorts and give this video a like as well. So this is a review for Porky's Hero Agency, released in 1937. It's the 185th in the series and it's directed by Bob Clampett with Chuck Jones assisting. You can find this short on the Porky Pig 101 DVD set. I have a link below to that, and you'll see throughout this review I've actually upscaled the picture to high definition, which, short of doing a proper scan, it's good enough. So in case you haven't seen this one, and there's a good chance you haven't because this one doesn't get played very often, but essentially, Porky is going to bed, I think as a kid in this one, reading about Greek myths, and he dreams about running a hero agency in ancient Greece. He is summoned by Emperor Jones to take on the Gorgon, who is turning people into statues through photography for some weird reason, and, well, hilarity ensues.
Now hold it. Are you holding it? I'll wait.
Am I in love? La 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 la.
Steady now.
So what you're about to see is a remix of the original audio commentary I did before I had to take it down due to a request by Warner Brothers Legal. So that's first. Then there'll be a few new thoughts from me, plus a sample from the Bob Clampett Retrospective Part 1, where my good friend Fox and the Fix gives his brief thoughts on the short. So grab some popcorn and enjoy.
This season, a population from 35 people with 6,000 statues. Thanks to that good-for-nothing Gorgon. Pui!
And right away, I love that statue, which is hinting at the story that is to come. Now, the Gorgon looks like it's another parody of Lizzie Tash, which is a character that was on a radio show played by another actor, and they already, just in the previous commentary, as I pointed out, was in the woods are full of cuckoos. So, yeah, they must really like that character. And as I mentioned before, it's voiced by Ted Pierce. But so here we've got Porky, but he's again more like a child, and I don't think the different units have really come together to figure out just exactly who Porky is, because in some shorts he's like a bank teller, and in other shorts he's trying to be a pilot, and here he's like a child again. But I wonder if they called him Emperor Jones, was it just to do with Chuck Jones? I don't know. I mean, let me know why they would have called him that, or if it's just them just going, I will just call him Emperor Jones because it sounds a bit funny. And you're going to see, for a very split moment, like a human picket fence, which are all caricatures of the different animators. So you got, Bob Clampett, of course, Chuck Jones, Lou Guarnier, Robert Cannon, John Carey, and Ernest Gee, and we'll see in just a moment. Okay, so there were a few things I missed out the first time around when I did this commentary. First of all, yes, now I've got the answer about Emperor Jones. See, I thought that was a reference to Chuck Jones, and maybe it was, partially, but there is also a play called Emperor Jones, or The Emperor Jones, and there was even a movie with the same title later on as well. So, there you go. Now, the name that Porky uses in his dream, called Porky Carcass, that makes me sound real Aussie, Carcass. But anyway, it's a parody of Parky Kakarus, and I've definitely butchered that, but it was basically a stage persona of comedian Harry Einstein. And even Tex Avery did a parody as well, and I'll show you now so you know exactly what the character would have sounded like.
Just a minute, chums. Just a minute. Choose your weapons. Turn around. Now you turn around. Keep your nose out of other people's business, ain't it? Backs together. Now, walk 10 paces. Turn and fire. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10.
So this reference here, is your daughter safe? I figured it had to have meant something, especially for someone like Clampett who just loves his pop culture references. And sure enough, there was actually a film called Is Your Daughter Safe? And it was an exploitation film released in 1927, directed by S.S. Millard. Now, I haven't seen it, but from what I've been reading about it, is that it contains a lot of stock footage of venereal diseases and white slavery, and it has a very basic plot about a young woman's journey into prostitution and white slavery, but from what I'm reading, the plot was secondary to the actual sexual content. I mean, it's 1927, so this is pre-code, and a lot more things were gotten away with at the time, and you can imagine society at the time would not have appreciated such a film, and this would have been more or less underground. They even changed the name to The Octopus just to get around certain restrictions, but I guess it's one to look up. I have not seen it. If you have, let me know in the comments below.
This Gorgon has hanging from a chain around the neck a magic needle entitled Bring 'em Back Alive, Life Restorer.
So that line, Bring 'em Back Alive, is a reference to Frank Buck's novel Bring 'em Back Alive. Also, this entire scene is based off of Franklin D. Roosevelt's weekly radio addresses that he did at the time, so it's like a fireside chat. This salesman is a reference to Al Pearce's salesman character called Elmer Blurt, and, well, it's pretty self-explanatory as you can see what sort of character he is, but if you watch the short Jungle Jitters, it's a similar thing. You got that overbearing salesman. Here's a trio of characters that never went anywhere. No, just kidding. They, of course, are the Three Stooges. Now, this is not the first time that they appeared in a Warner Brothers short. The first time was the girl at the ironing board, and then in Buddy's Lost World. But by this point, they were really, really popular, especially with Curly. I'm a huge Three Stooges fan, as you can probably gather, so whenever I see him in shorts like these, yeah, I get a thrill out of it. In this very brief frame here, you see the name Dick A. Powell. That's a reference to actor Dick Powell, and he was probably well known more for The Gold Diggers of 33, 35, and so on, and among other films. Now you want more? I'll give you more, because this one here, at the end of the trail, I double checked, and it appears to reference a 1932 film called End of the Trail, which was a pre-code Western film. I know next to nothing about it, but given that we have a Native American here, well, that makes sense. Now, did you hear Popeye the Sailor Man for that brief moment? I certainly did. I see this as nothing more than a tribute to the Popeye series, which was hugely popular around this time. And this part here, where it says Temple, then says Shirley, that's a cheeky little reference to Shirley Temple, who was a child star at the time. You may actually have seen her if you've watched Walt Disney be given his 7 little Oscars for Snow White. Phew, did you get all that? There's a lot of references in this seemingly innocent little film. But, you know, that's what I like about Clampett's shorts. You can watch them without knowing anything about the references and still enjoy it. But then for people like us who want to look into it further, well, we can have some extra laughs. I mean, with references to Greek characters that comedians were doing and all these obscure films, you know, I get a kick out of that sort of thing. Plus gags like this, where, you know, you'll be brought back to life with her life-restoring needle, maybe. And that's sort of thing that Clampett's films will become pretty much known for until he leaves Warner Brothers. I gotta say, the highlight for this cartoon for me has to be that Gorgon character. Just, yes, it's based off a radio character, but hey, it's so funny, and I just love the voice as well, because Porky, in these sort of shorts, is kind of like a plain-ish sort of character, so I guess it depends on having wacky characters around him. In this case, the Gorgon definitely fits the bill. But, Fox, what are your thoughts on Porky's Hero Agency?
Yeah, this one surprised me as well when I saw it for the first time on the Porky 101 DVD. I think they had to use different materials to piece this one together, so I'm not sure if that's the reason why it's not restored in HD yet. I like stories like this. It takes place in the past, and I like history. It has a kind of suspense, and visually it's very interesting. It's very adventurous, and you can see some signs of Chuck's work, especially on some of the character designs, I think. And the backgrounds are very pretty.
I totally agree. In fact, I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10. See, I think this one is an underrated gem. And I think the pairing of Jones and Clampett, they just complement each other in a short like this so well that it just works. And it's a shame that they didn't do too many more after this together, although Chuck would stay on as an animator until he had his own unit once Tashlin left. But yeah, this one's definitely one that people should check out. Just mind those few little questionable jokes that you see. So that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.
Look at me. I'll pry them open.
Open your eyes. Come on now. Open wide. It's time to wake up, Porky. Open your eyes.
That's it.